Good morning, boys and girls of the interwebs. It's LB, your useless idiot. Another beautiful day in Seattle. Oof. Good old Todd Herman show this morning. Firing it up. Talk about math. Love it. But some interesting things that I didn't really understand. I don't really know that much about. I know some about it, but not a lot. But I'm understanding that they kind of did a different thing with math, right? They made it so that you can't talk to your kids about stuff. Right? So, like, what is math anyway? Well, it's a language. And it's a global language that, we can all communicate with. Except for when they changed it. When Bill Gates came in and changed it. And they took something that worked perfectly, but was implemented poorly by the worst possible people in the United States, Democrats, or teachers, in other words. And so what they did was, from the time I was in school to the time my kids went to school, to completely change the way everything works and all the words that we use. And instead of teaching kids to read, they basically taught them to memorize a couple hundred words. And instead of teaching kids math, like their times tables and addition and subtraction, they taught them something else. I still don't know what it is. I still can't really comprehend it because it is so fucking stupid. What's 9 times 9? 81. Why? Because I memorized that stuff. That's why. Ugh. It's just so bizarre. So now I'm in a situation now where I'm trying to get these young kids to do stuff. Here, it's 13 feet across here. The plywood's 4 feet. Figure out how many sheets of plywood we need. Oh, I can't do that. I didn't learn how to do that in school. This after 4 years in the military. I can't figure that out. But now I'm starting to understand more of what actually has happened. Okay? No, they can't figure it out because they weren't taught these things. Okay? That's really the key thing here. They weren't taught this stuff. They weren't taught how to do math the right way. They were taught some other stuff. They weren't taught how to really sound out words and do all of that. They were taught something else. And, it's just bizarre. It's beyond bizarre, beyond anyone's ability to comprehend. It's like this guy right here, standing on the street corner, a crossing guard by himself with a mask on. That's insane. That is crazy. There's a 5-mile-an-hour breeze blowing, and he's standing there by himself on a street corner with a mask on. Now, that's just crazy. Doesn't make any sense. But this is who we're dealing with. We're dealing with people that do things that don't make sense. And they don't make sense in such a way that it's freaking dangerous. Because now what we have generations of people who not only don't understand each other, we can't even speak the same language of math. Our math isn't even the same. And I think that might be the nastiest thing of all. Is that they've made it so that you can't even talk about math with these kids. Because they don't know math. And I'm terrible at math. But I'm way better at a lot of this stuff than these kids are. Fresh out of school. That doesn't make any sense to me. They ought to be way smarter than I am when it comes to that. But it's just not the case. It's just not. I don't even have a 9th grade education. I've got like a 6th grade education. I missed like 4 years of school and didn't graduate. Got my GED, no problem. So, I'm trying to talk to my son, like, how do we figure out how to communicate. You know, we're trying to work out our adult relationship. And what I'm realizing is that we don't even speak the same language. This kid can't even really read a book. He wasn't taught to really read. And in the military, that stuff was not, you know, the importance of it was not, you know. So, you parents out there want to figure out why your kid seems like they're complete morons. It's because they are. They're dumb. They don't know how to do these things. It doesn't matter how much college they've got or what degree they have. They never learned the fundamental. That's why our education system was pretty damn good and produced the greatest country on the planet. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's not perfect because of freaking jerks in the education system, and because the least qualified people are tasked with the most important job, which is teaching the future generations. That's what we're actually talking about. So if you can't, you know, if you can't get to a point where, you know, that's why this crap here is allowed, because they don't understand math. That's why they vote for this stupid stuff. They don't understand math. This is the reasons. You know. Well, I see that they have cleaned out a whole bunch of the RV situation here. This will start the beginning of RV Row here. Here's some of them right here. So they've got these barriers and stuff up. They've got it cleaned up a little bit. This guy right here, this mess has been here for like a year, since before pandemic, that's for sure. So some of it does get cleaned up occasionally. This has gotten cleaned up and now it's right back to what it was. And what's interesting too is there's always new vehicles parked around these rigs. This has gotten cleaned up. Now it's kind of back to what it was. Right? This situation here, I see he got that door and fender painted. Right? So this is why you have this situation right here. Right? This is the reason. This is the reason why. Who's helping that old lady? You know? 2 weeks ago, a couple RVs burnt to the ground right there in that spot, and there's another RV right in its place. It's got a cool cap on it. Somebody made a cool cap. Like, there's been like 5 RVs burned to the ground in that spot right there under that tree. You know? Why is this happening? Why? It's because you kids don't know math, and now y'all can vote. And you don't know how to do math. You don't know how to do math quickly. You can't do it quickly in your head, so you can't make quick decisions. You know? And that's what the result of it is. That's what the result is right there. It's that. So all you people who are wondering, where's the big disconnect? Why is there such a disconnect? Why is the country so divided? Well, it's because y'all divided it. You who voted for this crap. And maybe not all of you did. I don't know. Maybe there's some of you that didn't vote for it. You don't even know what I'm talking about. But all you gotta do is look back at those pictures right there, or that video, and you see those people suffering and living in misery. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's division. It's this lady back here with the half green and half pink hair with a mask on or down around her chin, smoking a cigarette. Pulling the mask up to smoke a cigarette. Or pulling the mask down to smoke a cigarette and then pull the mask up. Sitting right there by the... I didn't video it, but I've seen she sits out there all the time and smokes. She works at the animal hospital right there, right? So... why is everything so divided? Well, how can you be united when you can't even speak the same language? When even math can't be used correctly. Because they don't know how to use math. They don't know how to do math quickly in their head. They can't do it. So if you can't do math quickly in your head, then you can't calculate risk quickly. You can't figure out the things that you need to do if you don't know how math works. Because you can't figure these things out. Math is required to figure out everything. Even non-math stuff is figured out with math. In our heads. It's all about proportionality. Proportions of risk and all kinds of things are figured out by math. By math. By masks. By math. Right? So if you want to figure out really complicated stuff, you have to have math. If you don't have math, you're screwed. Literally. All right, guys. I don't know. That's all I got. Bye.